Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel where today we are talking all about my hair. The topic that we will be diving today into is actually a game changer for my hair and my hair density, and that is dermarolling. If you are struggling with extreme hair thinning or if your hair stopped growing, and basically if you are just a hair nerd, then you must have heard about dermarolling or microneedling the scalp. But does it really work, and what is my experience with dermarolling my hair? Well, let's dive into that. So what exactly is dermarolling? Dermarolling is a non-invasive treatment done with a dermaroller. When you roll this device over your scalp, it creates micro-injuries that trigger your body's natural response to get more blood flow and nutrients to this area to help heal the wound that you have created, and the byproduct is that you have more nutrients in your scalp. Therefore, your hair follicles get more nutrients and can produce thicker and healthier hair. The science behind it is quite simple. With the increased blood flow that is stimulated by the derma roller, your body is delivering more oxygen and nutrients to the scalp. Your body also produces more collagen, and even though it may sound weird, but even your scalp needs more collagen because more collagen means healthier scalp, means thicker hair. It also stimulates your stem cells and activates growth factor. It's essentially telling your dormant hair follicles to wake up and produce new hair. These tiny channels that you create with the derma roller also help with the product absorption. When using derma roller, you are also creating pathways for your hair growth booster or serum that you are using, so it can penetrate into deeper layers of the skin, delivering the active ingredients in the serum to your hair. Therefore, it can be absorbed better and used better by your body. Now let's go to my personal journey. I've been through so many phases of my hair being very thin, then being very thick. I've never been like in between because when I was a little kid, I had like a few hairs because I was little. I think that is the situation for nearly all of us. But then when I was around 10 years old, I really had thick, luscious hair. When I went to high school, I lost some of my hair, not sure why. But when I was near the end of my high school, I had really extremely thick hair. I'm going to insert a few pictures here so you can imagine how my hair looked like. And I remember that when I went to uni, my hair was really, really thick. I have chopped off around half a meter of my hair. I can insert a picture of the braids that I cut off here. And you can see that my hair was really thick. But that changed the second year of university. My hair actually started falling out in clumps. Usually every day I was able to pull 2 or 3 golf-sized balls of my hair. And that really was bugging me because I think that we all want to have thick, luscious, very nice hair, and that's something that I want as well. So when I really lost like 2/3 of my hair, probably just because of stress on the uni, I wasn't very happy about it, and I wasn't really doing much at that time to reverse the damage and grow more hair, but I have decided that I'm going to start because no matter when you start, it is never too late. It will be late if you don't start at all. So exactly 1 year ago, I have started using the derma roller for my scalp. And at first I was really skeptical because you see all these influencers on social media telling you, use this, use that, this is perfect, this is perfect. But in the end, when you purchase the product, it sucks. And as I'm a very curious person, I honestly had to go and buy the derma roller ASAP. And when it came, I had to use it immediately. Using the derma roller is a chapter all about itself. But before we get into that, I'm going to show you what has happened to my hair, to my scalp, and how it affected me. So I have been using derma roller each week, at least once. When I started out, I was using the derma roller twice a week, but then I kind of slacked off because I'm lazy. And I was only using it 1 time per week. But that is totally fine. Once per week is enough to stimulate your scalp and to get the nutrients that you need, because if I do this, can you see this strand of hair? Well, this is all new hair that I've grown over the past year. And as I said, I was skeptical that nothing is going to happen, but hair journeys take time. You are not going to see new hairs overnight. You'll really need to wait at least 3 to 6 months to see something, because when you are dermarolling your scalp, you can actually just create peach fuzz, so really like invisible hair that is there but it's not colored. But over time, your hair can thicken and grow into a normal hair like this. And that's what happened to me. The first, I would say 1 month, I didn't see anything. And then I slowly started to see that I was growing new hair on my temples. And it is very visible if I do this, because I cannot do anything about this sticking out. And this is 1 year of growing my hair like this. I didn't cut it in here, I only cut my hair on the lengths like in December. I think I have a vlog about me cutting my hair right here. And yeah, I'm going to probably zoom you in a little more. Okay, we are now very close and personal. But as you can see, if I do this, there's a whole lot of new hair. So this part of my head was bald. Also, the other temple, if I do this, you can see that this is all new hair that I have. And I can do this also in the front, so at least my hairline is getting a bit lower because I have giant forehead. I've always been picked up on that, and I hate it. So if I can reverse this and do something about it, yeah, I have a very, very weird fringe right now. It is hard to style it because those baby hairs or the new growths are not very tameable. But I also have new hairs right here, so you can see that this is also all over my head. And also, do you like my t-shirt? I think this is the best t-shirt I ever got. Test it on me, shame on you. Always buy cruelty-free. And just to do some comparisons, I'm going to insert a few pictures of my head before and after I started using the derma roller. And also, I didn't want to use Minoxidil. I know that people tend to go for Minoxidil because it is very fast, it is very effective, but I didn't like the side effects that it has. So yes, I bought Minoxidil like 3 years ago and it's still sitting in my cupboard, not being even touched. But why is the Minoxidil or derma rolling such a popular treatment? I'm going to break down the differences between the Minoxidil and derma roller, so hopefully you can decide for yourself if you're looking at regrowing your hair into what is the best for you. So Minoxidil or Rogaine in the US is a topical treatment that you apply to your scalp. It can be foam or it can be drops, and it is a substance that is going to increase the blood flow to the areas that you apply it to. It is clinically proven effective and it is approved by the FDA, but it has, for me at least, a few cons. That's why I didn't use it. Dependence is one of the reasons. If you start using Minoxidil, you have to use it all the time. You cannot just stop using Minoxidil, because once you stop using Minoxidil, all the hairs that have grown back from the Minoxidil, they are going to fall out in a few months and they will never come back. So actually, Minoxidil is something that you are signing up for your whole lifetime, because if you stopped, your hair would fall out again. There are also many side effects with Minoxidil. Common side effects include scalp irritation, itching, dryness, and flaking of your scalp. Some people also have experienced that they are hair shedding, so before Minoxidil actually starts working on their heads, you're just losing more hair in the meantime, even though it will grow back, but first few months your hair is going to fall out before it grows new hair, so That is something that I wasn't really sure about. And if absorbed systematically, it can cause dizziness, also nausea, swelling, or irregular heartbeat. Sometimes it can also cause unwanted hair growth. For example, I've seen a few pictures online of people who have used minoxidil and they got a few drops of it on, for example, their forehead or on their cheeks, and they started to grow facial hair. Like they had hair here, they had mustache, and so on. So I don't want to have a mustache, and that was the biggest reason why I didn't want to use minoxidil. I wouldn't have a problem with like paying for it each month or however often I would need to use it, but I didn't want facial hair, and I was so afraid of that I didn't use it. But leave your experience down below if you have used minoxidil. Please tell me you don't have extra facial hair, because that's something that I wouldn't want to have. And the last con of minoxidil is that many times it contains propylene glycol, and that is a irritant, so many people can get very sensitive scalp afterwards. Now let's go to dermarolling. As discussed, the derma roller is a device that is going to create micro tears in your scalp. These injuries stimulate collagen, blood flow, and nutrients in your scalp. One of the pros is that derma roller is triggering a natural response of your body. It just works on stimulating your body as a whole by creating a natural response that your body wants to heal the micro wound. It is also potentially safer, mostly when you are using it the correct way. So when you are using the derma roller hygienically and properly, you are more probably going to gain more hair than if you would have, for example, not very good application of minoxidil. The only side effects that the derma roller has is potentially having irritated scalp for the first few uses, and maybe itchy scalp because of the micro tears in your skin, but after some time of using it, it's just going to disappear. There's no systemic absorption like with minoxidil, meaning fewer concerns about internal side effects. Also, there is no dependence on derma rolling when we compare it to minoxidil. While consistency is key for both of these techniques, derma rolling isn't a chemical that you are depending on, so basically, if you stop derma rolling your scalp, your hair shouldn't be falling out, or it shouldn't be falling out as fast as with the minoxidil. The improvements come from your body's natural response. Also, derma roller is a very cost-effective thing. Even though you have to change this derma roller every 2 to 3 months or when the needles get blunt, this isn't a very expensive thing. I think I got this for less than $10, and I have replaced mine, I think, 3 times, so 2 times, so I had 3 over the past year. And when we compare it with the cost of minoxidil, I think that is around 20 or more bucks per month. And when we compare this, is like $30 per year, so you have a significant cost effectiveness here. Another pro of the derma roller is that it is also enhancing your other products that you are using. So, for example, with minoxidil, you only work with minoxidil. It is not going to help you absorb any other treatment or serum better. But when you are using derma roller, your scalp is going to benefit from using some serum or any other hair tonic or anything that you apply on your hair, because it is going to absorb deeper into your skin because of these micro tears. You can also use derma roller and minoxidil together. So when you use the derma roller and then apply minoxidil, it is going to boost the minoxidil's effect. It is not really recommended for you to use minoxidil right after using the derma roller, because it can then lead to very sensitive and itchy scalp. So if you would want to do this, then please leave at least 1 day between the derma roller and the minoxidil application. I have chosen the derma roller mostly because I didn't want to get any extra facial hair. Right now I don't have any, thankfully, but I also didn't want to use any extra chemicals that would irritate my scalp. Derma rolling has fewer potential side effects and it is milder on your body. So I think that it is a good way to start. For example, if you only want to try it out and see for yourself if it works, Start with dermaroller. If it is not as effective as you would like it to be, then you can introduce minoxidil. So if you are thinking about using a dermaroller and purchasing one for yourself, then let me give you a few tips on how to use it and what not to do. Firstly, you will need to choose the right needle size. For example, mine is a 0.25 millimeter. Excuse this cover, it is very dusty, but this is always clean. My dermaroller has 0.25 millimeter long needles, but you can go up to 0.5 millimeter. That is the range that you should aim for, so from 0.25 to 0.5 millimeter long needles. Anything above that should be only handled by professionals, so if you don't want to hurt yourself, go only up to 0.5 millimeters. Also, if you go less than 0.2 millimeters, it is not going to be as effective as with something like this. So maybe if you want to try it out and your scalp is very sensitive, then start with 0.1 millimeter, for example, and then build it up over time to see how your scalp is going to feel. Another tip is always sterilize your dermaroller. I always keep a bottle of isopropyl alcohol near my dermaroller because before I use it, I run it under hot water, then I spray it with the alcohol, let it dry, and then use it on my scalp. Once I use it, I again run it under hot water, spray it with alcohol, let it dry, put it in its case, and let it sit in my bathroom. Another thing you should always have in mind when using the dermaroller is you should have clean scalp. You don't want any buildup or any product on your hair or your scalp, because once you use the dermaroller, it is going to push it into your skin, and you don't want dirt in your skin and then create a potential infection. Always use a gentle pressure when using the dermaroller. You don't want to push really hard because then you're just going to aggravate your skin, which is again something that you don't want. You want to be very gentle with it, but you should never cause pain or bleeding. So yeah, keep an eye on that. When you are using the dermaroller, always start, for example, I start like this because my hair usually naturally splits like this. So I go on my part and I go like around 5 to 10 times on one spot, then move to another, and again until I reach the end of my head. Then I take my hair, put it to the side, and again go like this, then again on the side of my head, then on the other side of my head, and when I get to the back, I usually just take a hair clip, put a clip on my hair, and then again just go to the back and go from top to bottom. Also avoid using the dermaroller on one spot too many times. You don't want to aggravate your skin, because if you use it, for example, 30 times on one spot, you can then actually cause more damage than good. When it comes to frequency of usage, I started using it 2 times per week. Now I am using it only 1 time per week, but I wouldn't recommend going over 2 times per week, as your scalp can then actually go against you and you won't grow any new hair, just damage your scalp. After I use the dermaroller, I always go in with a hair growth serum. I have switched, I think, 3 of these in the last year. I have used an herbal tonic, then I switched over to the Aromatica Root Enhancer with rosemary. Right now I'm using a thickening hair serum from Venera, which is a Czech brand, and I actually have the dermaroller from this site, so I added this into the basket. I'm not sure if this is doing much to my hair. I think the majority of the work is done by the dermaroller, but this is a nice addition to your routine. Also, as I said, you don't only need to sanitize your dermaroller, you also have to replace it because the needles can get blunt over time. So every 2 to 3 months, replace it with a new one. The best would be if you find a dermaroller that has a changeable head, but I didn't find one, so I had to replace this whole thing, which creates a bit much garbage, but I at least have some hair right now. And the last advice I can give you is always listen to your scalp. So if your scalp gets very itchy, very irritated, stop using this. Even if you didn't use it for 2 weeks, just let your scalp breathe, let it get to its normal state so it's nice and healthy, and only then again start with using the derma roller. Also, always consult a dermatologist if you have a rash, an infection, or something from using the derma roller. And even if you want to, you can consult your dermatologist before you start using it. For me, derma rolling has been a great addition to my hair routine. I usually don't use any hairsprays, hair foams, anything. I just wash my hair with a scalp scrub, then I go in with a shampoo and I use conditioner, not all the time, usually once a week. I have to wash my hair every 2 to 3 days because it gets very greasy, just as my skin. My scalp also gets very greasy, and I have seen a major result in my hair. I feel like I don't shed as much hair as I was before. I mean, I still shed quite a few of my hairs during the day, but it is okay if you're shedding anywhere between 50 to 100 hairs. Anything above that can be a sign of not eating enough of minerals or vitamins, and it can be also a sign of, for example, androgenic alopecia or any other illness. If you are looking for a natural way how to get more hair, then I really recommend dermarolling. I have been using it for 1 year exactly today, and the results speak for themselves. If you have been using dermaroller or minoxidil, then leave your experience down below in the comment section. Also, if you learned something new or enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!